Good morning and happy Friday. Good morning and happy Friday. File was corrupted, and I think we've got that reposted for you now if you are wanting to go back. And I just say this, I frequently am aware that I'm at least 24 hours behind in terms of what's going on. I record these the morning before you see them. So, obviously so much is happening in the country right now, and I just try to stay in my lane and not comment on any of that and stay in the text. So we finished Hebrews chapter 7 yesterday. We're moving a little bit more quickly, second half of the book. Today we're in Hebrews chapter 8. And Hebrews 7 was a celebration of Jesus. It's sort of right up the middle. It's the gospel. It's the fact that he's our high priest, what he's done for us. Very good news and very, in one sense, sort of foundational or basic. Today, we get some information about covenants. So a couple things to know about covenants. One, they're sort of like contracts only between people who really trust each other and love each other and want the best for each other. So the best example I can offer would be the marriage covenant. Now, we sort of try and turn marriages into contracts these days and have all kinds of prenuptial agreements and other things. But the wedding vows, Christian marriage is a covenant. It's not a contract. No lawyer would let you sign it if it was a contract because you are signing away your rights. I take you for better or worse, in sickness and in health, richer or for poorer, right there. I'm signing up along those lines. So covenant is like a contract between people who like each other and trust each other and don't have to read the fine print. The second thing to know about covenants is that we can understand our relationship with God, in a sense, through a series of covenants that unfold throughout the Bible. The first one we find in Genesis 1 and 2, the Edenic or the Adamic covenant. Adam, the word means man. Adam is sort of like our Washington in the sense that Adam is the first, Washington is the first president. Adam represents mankind. Washington is sort of our representative. So you've got the covenant with Adam. You've got a covenant with Noah. You've got a covenant that's made with Abraham. Genesis 12, you've got a covenant then with Moses, the covenant of the law. Then you get the covenant with with David. And then in Jeremiah 31, you get a covenant, the new covenant, which looks ahead to Jesus. So we could spend a lot of time talking about covenants. There's a sense in which covenant theology maybe is sort of over against dispensational theology. It's a meta narrative. It's a big interpretive grid that gets dropped on the Bible. But I'm just in Hebrews 8. There's just a celebration of Jesus bringing this new covenant. So I want to read an extended passage here, Hebrews 8, beginning with verse 6 to the end of the chapter. But now he, Jesus, has obtained a more excellent ministry by as much as he is also the mediator of a better covenant, which has been enacted on better promises. For if that first covenant had been faultless, there would have been no occasion sought for a second covenant. Okay, so the problems have not actually been with the covenants as much as they have been with us, our inability to sort of keep the covenant. For finding fault with them, he says, and now we get this extended quote out of Jeremiah 31. So I'm reading out of Hebrews 8, verse 8, but it's actually a quote out of Jeremiah 31. Behold, days are coming, says the Lord, looking ahead, when I will effect a new covenant. This is what Jesus is going to bring with the house of Israel and the house of Judah. Not like the old covenant which I made with their fathers on the day when I took them by the hand and led them out of the land of Egypt. Okay, that was the covenant with Moses. For they did not continue in my covenant. I did not care for them, says the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, says the Lord, I will put my laws into their minds. I will write them upon their hearts. And I will be their God, and they shall be my people. And they shall not teach everyone his fellow citizen and everyone his brother, saying, know the Lord. For all shall know me, from the least until the greatest of them. For I will be merciful to their iniquities and will remember their sins no more. When he said a new covenant, he made the first obsolete, but whatever is being obsolete is growing old, is ready to disappear. So what we get here is he's looking at the Mosaic covenant, the covenant of the law that was written in stone, the 10 Commandments. He's saying, now I'm going to write these things on your heart. And everybody will know. Now we can deny God, and that's obvious. We can harden our heart, and Paul writes about that in Romans 1:18. And Christians can harden their heart and not hear from God and not be sensitive to sin. So we've got to guard our hearts, but he's going to write on our hearts, and that's what we're after. So look, worst situation is you got a bad contract and a bad lawyer. Better situation, you got a good contract and a bad lawyer, or a bad contract and a good lawyer. What we hear here in Hebrews 8 is that we have a good contract and a good lawyer, Jesus, who negotiated a new covenant for us. And it's as superior as everything. Jesus is better than everything and everyone, and the contract that he works out with us is better than any we could ever possibly have. Be encouraged. Have a good weekend.